Hey G Squad, welcome back to an episode of Is It Worth It? So for today's episode, we have this cool, amazing product right here in my hand. As you can see, it's a spring foam pan that you can use to bake cheesecake, cakes, or whatever you guys want to. The one that I have right here in my hand is by a brand called Hiware, and this one was the only one that I saw online on Amazon that a lot of people say that it was actually leak proof. There was a lot of other ones that I read on Amazon that was not leak proof, so I didn't want that to happen, so I just went with this one. Second issue that I had was deciding how big of a size I want. There's a 6-inch, 7-inch, I think there was an 8 and a 9 or a 10-inch, but I went with a 7-inch because I didn't want something too big, but I didn't want something too small. And this was kind of in the middle, so it was 7-inch. There was an 8-inch one, but then that one was not in stock, so I wanted to get the one ASAP because I want to make a cheesecake ASAP before quarantine is over and I won't have the chance to make it once I go back to work and whatnot. So that's why I got this one instead of any other ones that are in the market. And what's really cool about this is the fact that since it's 7-inch, it can actually still fit in your Instapot or your pressure cookers. And what's really cool about this product is the fact that it says that it's non-stick coatings on the actual pot itself, so it won't actually stick any of the ingredients on there, supposedly. But first thing first, let me actually open up the product itself first to show you guys what it comes with and what is inside the package itself. Alright, so when we open it up, this is what it looks like inside, as you can see. Let's take it out. So this is basically everything that's inside the package itself. They provide you some parchment paper here, which is pretty awesome of them. So you can put this inside the actual pot itself when you guys make a cheesecake. Here is basically what the pot looks like, as you can see. Here's the latch right here that you can actually loosen up, and then you guys can take the bottom part out. So maybe I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. So just like that, it comes off really easily. And then if you guys want to put it back on, you guys want to just strap it back in place like this, and then strap back, if you guys can see. So it's definitely really easy to use and everything, as you can see, easy to put back on, easy to remove. And if you guys remember what I said earlier about the leak proof issue, a lot of other brands did not have the actual leak proof mentioned on the listing. This one was only one that actually says that it's leak proof and everything, and a lot of other people tested it and said the same thing. So the only way for us to actually find out when it is leak proof and when it actually works is to actually go test it out. Alright, so we're going to do a quick test of the product itself to see when it's actually leak proof and whatnot. So the product itself is not fully leak proof. You guys put liquid on here, but if you guys put the actual base itself, it should be leak proof. And if you guys look at the product of where it's actually leaking, it's only leaking from the front part of where the clip is. But if you guys move it to the other side, there's no leakage. So there's only leak on the front part because of how it's made. Alright, so we got the milk here, the butter, and also the cream cheese. So we're going to be whisking this a little bit or stirring it around on the actual pot itself in probably medium heat until everything is all melted and whatnot. And then we're going to add in the other ingredients onto this as well in a separate bowl. So let me start mixing these first. Alright, so the cream cheese, the butter, and the milk is done. We're going to go mix in the egg yolk and also the other ingredients like the flour and everything else first. So here I have the egg yolk. Let me add that in first. Try to get all of it in if you guys can. Alright, so we're going to mix the egg yolks right now. Just do it lightly. Don't overdo it or anything. Alright, this looks good. Let's add in the ingredients. Slowly mix it while you guys are doing it. And then add in the remainder right here using a spatula, if you can see. Just make sure you guys get the whole entire batch and everything inside. So that way you guys don't waste any of the ingredients and whatnot. Alright, so that looks good. Now we're going to add in the flour and the cornstarch in. And when you guys add in the cornstarch and also the all-purpose flour itself, you guys want to shift it in so that way there's not a lot of clumps that's stuck onto it. So first one I'm going to add in right here is all-purpose flour. So I measured it and everything, but I'm putting it in here. To make sure it's all evenly spread out and made correctly. So we're almost done here, and then we can add in our cornstarch now. So that's what it looks like when you guys finish making it. Alright, so we have the cornstarch here now. Let's add the cornstarch into the shifter and also do the same thing. Take as long as you guys need to make sure it's correctly added in. So if you guys see my old video of the other one that I did last time, I didn't actually do this. So this is probably why it was it turned out wrong. But this time I'm doing it correctly. So it should turn out correctly, but we'll see later on. So for the matcha powder, I'm going to be using the matcha from Jade Leaf Matcha that we have right here. Alright, so that should be good. Now let's shift it and make sure the ingredients all spread out correctly and evenly. So the shifting process itself always takes a little bit longer than what you probably want to have, but doing this process definitely should help a lot with making the actual ingredients perfectly and more smooth and evenly mixed and whatnot. You see all those little balls inside? If you guys just mixed it without actually shifting it, you'll get all clumped up and stuck and it won't actually turn out as good as you guys want it to be. So we're just gonna slowly just mix it, make sure it's all mixed correctly and evenly. So we're gonna work on the other half now, which is the egg whites. Alright, so here we have the bowl, we have the egg whites here. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Here's the egg whites and here's the sugar that we're going to be using. So first thing we're going to do is add in the eggs into here, and then we'll use an electric beater here to beat up the eggs. So we're going to pour in our egg whites right here first. Make sure all of it is in. Alright, so everything's all set. Let's beat up the eggs now. Alright, so what we're going to do now is put in this part into here and slowly fold the actual ingredients using a spatula like this. Just keep folding it back and forth and doing that. So I'm going to finish this up first and then show you guys what it looks like when it's done. So now what we want to do is put some oil onto like a piece of paper or a brush, whatever you guys have. I don't have a brush with me, so I'm going to use a paper towel, put some oil on here, and then we're just going to wipe throughout the product itself to grease out the pan itself. So just grease the whole entire bottom part like this, and also the sides as well. Make sure it's all greased out, so that way it's like also non-stick. Even though the pan itself is already non-stick, you guys want to be extra safe or not to add an extra layer of non-stick. Alright, so that should be good. Let's add in the batch into the actual product itself now. But before we do, you guys want to add this parchment paper in the bottom of the actual pan itself first so it doesn't stick. So if you guys can see from the actual product itself, it is leak proof when you guys actually add in the batch, but then when you guys add in water, it's not leak proof. So that's definitely one thing to kind of consider about the product. You guys can see that it is leak proof, nothing's leaking out. Because when you guys mix the actual batter of the actual mix itself, it becomes this kind of like solid form and it's not like fully liquid anymore. So that's why it doesn't leak. So let's add it in first and see what happens. Alright, so we have our pan inside here, as you can see. So what we want to do right now is put in 2 towels inside underneath it so the heat can be evenly distributed first. So I'm just going to put this in here. And then we can put in our batch inside. So this is the one we have right here. Just slowly take your time and put it in. Make sure it's like in the middle. Alright, so that should be good. Now you can close it back up and just start baking the product. Bake it for roughly 25 minutes on the heat that is on right now, and then reduce the heat to like 250 degrees and then bake it for another 55 minutes. So the product is done. Let's take a look and see how it looked like. Alright, so the top part expanded a lot. I think I didn't add enough on top, but as you can see, it actually looks pretty good. So let's take it out and see what it looks like. So you guys want to open the part right here on the side. So that way you can loosen up the sides. So that way you can loosen it up like this. And you guys can slowly take it out. So the part, it says it's non-stick, but it kind of sticks on the side. So you guys probably want to add a non-stick parchment paper if you guys want a better result. But you guys can see that it does work. Really easy to remove and everything, but let's take it out fully now. So I'm just going to slide it onto this plate right here. And that's what the final product looks like. Turned out pretty good. Bottom part still sticked a little bit and did leak out the parchment paper. So that's kind of the issue that you guys probably want to know, but it does work. And if you guys take a look at the actual product itself, it turned out pretty good because look how jiggly it is. Alright, welcome back guys. So now that you guys saw the test of the product, you can see it actually does work, it actually works really well. I really love how it's actually leak proof. I was so scared of that issue because I've seen so many other listings of other products that people say that it's not actually leak proof. This one it actually is leak proof as a first hand perspective. Not sure how it will perform over time, but I'll definitely do like update video to show you guys how it's gonna be like over time when we use it more and more. Especially since I still plan on baking a lot of stuff in the future for you guys for this channel and also for my food Instagram as well. But I definitely love the option of how it's like non-stick on the bottom. But even though they say that it's non-stick and actually is non-stick, you guys probably still want to use like the parchment paper to have a better result and whatnot. But also definitely really easy to wash and everything. It's actually better for you guys to actually hand wash it than using actual machine to wash it. That way you guys can clean it better and you guys know that it's clean for sure. So now that we did the unboxing and testing on the product itself, now to answer the question of whether or not it's actually worth it or not. So for me, I definitely have to say that this is actually really worth it if you guys are going to be using this often, if you guys are trying to make a cake, a cheesecake, a Japanese cheesecake, whatever you guys end up deciding to use this for, it's definitely really worth it if you guys are into baking and whatnot. But then obviously for those guys who don't want one or don't need one or don't bake in general or don't like cakes in general, then obviously don't buy one and save your money for something else that actually do need. But other than that, that's much it for this little quick unboxing and testing of the product itself. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, then make sure to subscribe, like, and comment down below. And if you guys like this video and you guys want to see more, then make sure to click on that bell notification in the bottom to be notified of new videos that will be coming up in the future. But as always, make sure to stay positive, be you, and I'll see you guys in the next episode of Is It Worth It? Peace. And then for today's G Squad fan shout out day we have